Hey guys, my name is Daniel Tavickman. I'm going to be reviewing this book. I'm going to be talking about it. It's called, there's a sticker over it so you can't see it. It's called the Mindfulness and Acceptance Workbook for Depression. It's by Kirk D. I don't know how to pronounce these names. You can see them right here. Yeah. So I've seen a lot of reviews and a lot of people going through these kind of things, and it's always coming from the perspective of like a therapist or someone with like actual credentials teaching this kind of thing. And I think that's really good. It's really important. I've learned a lot from those people. I think there is also a perspective that is missing, namely from like the person inside it, like the person using the book, and like them sharing their strategies, and they're sharing what's inside, like how it feels like to be on the inside of the depression, and how it feels like to be working through these things. Less ideal, more gritty. There's definitely like a reason why this doesn't happen. I think there's a very good reason. People inside depression have a lot of poor coping strategies, or they do things that are not conducive to their mental health, and they don't even know, and they think that it is good. This is definitely like a risk, and yeah. So I'm not here to tell. So I'm someone who has a history of depression. I had a depressive episode a while ago. It was not good. I might talk about it later, but for now, it's like a chronic thing that I struggle with. I've become a lot better at it. My life is a lot more manageable now, and my depression and my mood is a lot more manageable. And I kind of want to just go through the workbook and share my perspective, share my coping strategies. I wrote this down. So like I'm not doing a scientific review. Like I'm not going through all the literature. I'm saying this modality works, this modality doesn't work. Here's the scientific thing. I'm just like, hey, I'm a guy that went through this, and I'm just sharing my perspective. I'm not here to tell people what to do. I don't think that I'm qualified to do that. I don't think you necessarily should be listening to me as like an authority figure. That's probably a bad idea. I don't really even listen to myself as an authority figure. So it's more of like a game perspective, like a peer-to-peer, like peer support kind of thing, than someone else going through the same thing, sharing their things. So some things I want to talk about before I start the series is just an intro, give it on the right foot, set some context so that you don't take it out of context or anything. It's the last thing I want is to make things worse. So I think therapy is great in general. It's really helpful. There's like a lot of science, a lot of smart people spending a lot of years developing a lot of really good strategies. I'm not sure exactly how they came up with all this stuff, but on my end, as a person that uses it, it's really, really effective. It's really cool stuff. It's really useful, and I highly recommend it. There is things beyond therapy that often is not talked about. And beyond, I mean, I don't mean like, okay, like skip therapy, just do that. I mean, like, you do the therapy, they give you the basic strategies, basic techniques, and then you have to come up with the ones that are suited for your life. And, day-to-day stuff, also things like meaning and stuff like that we'll talk about. And I mean, like, I don't know what all the answers are, but I'm just here to sort of share my perspective. And let me just check. One of my strategies is that I write everything down because I don't remember. My mindset's changed. That's one of the things about depression is like there's a certain mindset when you're inside the depression that's like takes over, and then when you're outside it, it's like, oh, whatever, that's not real. That's just a thing. like, oh yeah, like I know what that is. Like it's just like this feeling I get sometimes or whatever. Like it's fine, I can get over it. And like obviously that's not true for a lot of people. Some people it is to just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Like just get over it, man up, kind of thing, and that works for some people. But it doesn't work for a lot of people. It doesn't work for me. So for me, what I like, a big part of what I like to do is send messages to myself. So there's me in one mindset, me in another mindset. And like my general strategy is like, hey, like both these things are me and they're at odds with each other. So it's kind of like I'm fighting with myself. A lot of the metaphors of like, the devil or the two wolves inside you kind of stick out for that. And for me, it's not about one's good, one's bad. Like it's not like, hey, depression, like the me that's depressed is bad and the me that's not depressed is good. Because there's, like in exploring it, there's a lot of value. There's a lot of insights that can be generated and a lot of just a lot of like realness and like the real world is sort of there with the depression. That's not saying that the things that happen while I'm in the depression are real. Like there's also a lot of falsehood. There's also a lot of like lying to myself. There's a lot of like thoughts that pop up that are just like objectively just not true. There's a common saying that the depression lies to you. I can't remember the exact wording, but it's like it's just lying, and that's true. Like when you're depressed, you have these like thoughts come in your head, like it's just lying to you. There is a truth, like there's a deeper truth, but it's not the one you see. The one with the words that like the voice in your head, the things that are being told you, that's just wrong. Like that kind of stuff is just wrong. There's a deeper felt sense. There's like whatever. We'll talk about it later. It gets a little metaphysical or something, but yeah. So for me, it's like it's about integrating it. So it's like I'm not the person I am when I'm not depressed. I'm not the person I am when I am depressed. I'm the person that is the sum of both of them. So the thing that if both those things were to come together in a congruent, helpful way, that is who I identify as. Practically speaking, like I'm not that person, but that's the person that I try to be, and that's my sort of overall strategy or large term like goal, where it's like there's not the depression and there's not the not depression, there's just me. And I think like to a certain extent, like at least where I am now, the way I see it now is I'm never going to get there, but also the more closer I get there, the better everything is, right? Like the less I don't like that up and down. Some people they're like want their life to be a roller coaster. I don't want that at all. I want my life to be, it's got to have like some up and down, but like with the depression, it's just too much, right? Like if I can't act how I want to act in my moods, then the mood is too extreme, and that's that needs to be. The moods wind up needing to talk to each other, but I'm gonna get into that later. Yeah, for now it's just sort of setting this setting this context. So the main thing I want to take away is I'm not an expert. Don't do whatever I say. I'm just sharing my story. I'm going to accidentally say things like, hey, you should do this, or hey, this is the right thing to do, or whatever, like get a little cocky because that's, that's part of my personality, but don't take it too seriously. And I'll see you in the next video.